So in this episode, we're going to get into something a little bit weird, something a little different. Not that weird. Well, it's weird right now because I've started the episode. And this is second episode with a mic. So yeah, I just want to, before we get into this, I want to say a little bit about myself. My name's Alex. I've pretty much been present.
What is this, an AA meeting?
Basically.
Hi, Alex.
Yeah.
Hi. So, basically, I've been here, been through all of this. Now I get to talk. And I may, after this episode, get this privilege taken away from me. So, basically, I'm a huge conspiracy guy. I'm a bit of a contrarian. And one of my favorite things to do is kind of debate or have conversations. I don't like to be confrontational about it. I just like to, it's like sometimes I'll just choose a side that's just different just to have a conversation. So
yeah, dude, I disagree with that.
Would you call yourself more of a debate guy or a debunk guy?
Well, I would call myself a master debater.
Oh my God, dude. The last episode started with penises.
That's just the last 3 episodes.
Sorry, go ahead.
So,
is there any sort of family friendliness to this program? Can we not, even though I brought it up the last
You did.
Hey, you said anal.
Yeah, but
we keep saying it. Every episode you want to bring it up like it.
Technically, you said anal, and
dude, I said analgesic.
I pointed at, that includes anal.
Dude, you're going to get us banned.
Banned from what?
From, I don't know.
We don't make money on this.
Bro, our moms listen, dude.
That's why we're going to have to move platforms here.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to talk about today, we're going to kind of do a little bit of an introduction to a little bit easier, less controversial conspiracy theory. And that is the moon landing.
Is, Alex, let me ask you a question. Is the moon really made of cheese?
Is that a Steve Brule thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I was just being like Steve Brule. Oh, dude, shout out Tim and Eric.
Yeah, they're
Funniest
like our
comedians of all time.
Possibly our biggest influences.
Absolutely they are.
Yeah.
With one of these shout outs, somebody is liable at some point to shout us back.
Yeah, eventually.
Dude.
Unless they shout out Alex.
We got shouted out by Sam Tripoli the other day.
That's right.
On
Yeah,
Tinfoil
that is
Hat.
big news. That's big
and
news.
Johnny Woodard.
On his last episode.
Yeah, of Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah, he straight up shouted
Dude,
out. both
Alex,
episodes.
you're par for course with your predictions, dude.
Well, you know, hey, Sam's never heard me. Hey, Sam, my name's Alex. You can shout me out next time if you want to.
Well, I don't think he actually listens.
He's going to listen to this one, though, because he's going to see moon landing and be like, oh, I'm all over that. Because
Facts.
we're on the same page. I want to get more conspiratorial. It's not my show. That's okay.
Yeah. That's what Sean said, so.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to name the show Intuition.
I love
like
that.
intuition. Hell yeah,
love
dude.
that.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
Look forward to that.
premium, bro.
All right, so I kind of want to open this up a little bit to like moon in general, and not necessarily the landing, because people have been to the moon. Pieces of equipment apparently have been to the moon. People apparently have been to the moon, and the Chinese apparently have been to the dark side of the moon. But we're going to kind of focus on the American moon mission, Apollo 11, which starts.
Bro, I know people who worked on that.
For real?
Yeah, in NASA. I grew up with NASA people coming.
Yeah,
to my
I didn't
house.
know that they worked on
Yeah,
the
Hal
moon.
Povenmire.
Jeez.
Well, thanks for telling me, like, as we're recording it and not kind of before when I was in the research phase.
You didn't tell me what you were looking up. You didn't ask. Do you know anybody who worked on Apollo 11? You know I know NASA people. I didn't know
I
it.
didn't think of it.
I got my CIA coin right here.
Okay.
I don't believe they actually win anyway. What does it matter?
Oh, we can just end the episode
Okay,
then.
well, okay.
No, but Alex has his own opinions.
Final preface here. I did in my notes, right? This is like, I don't really care about this conspiracy.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it really doesn't matter to me at all. And I don't really hold a strong position on it. So I'm just like, I get kind of swayed back and forth depending on the day of the week. But basically, the United States moon mission starts in May 25th, 1961, when JFK pretty much gave a speech before the joint session of Congress saying, hey, we're getting in the space race because we're jealous of some Russians.
That's what, like 8 years before they actually did it? I didn't know that.
69,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yep. So the landing happened in July 20th of 1969. So was that 8 years later, kind of?
Dude, that's the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
they slaughtered
Roughly.
Manson.
Oh, that's right. That was the whole connection.
I mean, sorry, Manson's people
right.
slaughtered Sharon Tate.
Right, Sharon Tate.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. That's like a significant year. The Rosemary's Baby came out the year before or something like that.
And then Manson murders 69.
Yeah.
Great.
It's all relevant, dude.
Right. I don't know a whole lot about that, though. It's kind of over my head. Anyway, I've watched a lot of stuff here. All right, so I'm just going to start with my personal opinion, and then I guess I'll break it out to you guys.
Well, what is your personal opinion?
My personal opinion is that we went there, and we sent astronauts there. I just don't think that the footage is real.
Yeah, that's kind of like the consensus. Like,
right. Like, yeah, maybe we did it, but they had
Kubrick made the footage, right?
They had to properly convey to the United States public, and they had to win the space race.
Bro.
In like a triumphant, like visible way.
Tell me how they were on the moon, hundreds of thousands or millions of miles away, and then they hopped on the phone in the 1960s.
With the president?
Yeah, and talked live on TV to the president.
We don't even have that technology now.
And basically like an aluminum ball that floated through space.
Right, wrapped in tinfoil.
Yeah, and they basically crash landed it on the moon, and then they hopped on the celly.
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. Not a crash landing. They did well. Like obviously, they didn't crash. But
you're telling me it wasn't a crash?
Like, no, in the film, there's no obvious like crater or any dust kind of created by the landing of the lunar modular. I don't know module.
The pod or the craft,
right?
Whatever they were in,
just kind of landed.
Yeah,
and then when it took off, it didn't. I don't know. There's no video of the takeoff, but like that's kind of one of the consensus things.
Wasn't there also a thing? Sorry, wasn't there also a thing? I remember Ryan. I remember you telling me this at one point. Wasn't there like reports apparently that like when it landed, it rang. The moon rang like a bell.
I have heard that before,
which would lend itself to the theory that the moon is hollow.
Right.
Now, and one of my favorite pieces.
A bigger question: is the moon real?
Well, I can see the moon. With my own eyes.
Therefore, it's real.
Can you touch it?
Well, no. That's why I couldn't answer your question. I don't know if it's made of cheese.
Debunked.
Debunked?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. live debunking. So one of the craziest things to me and evidence to the moon being hollow is that regardless of the size, the width of the crater on the moon, because you know the moon's covered in craters, that's how you get the kind of the way it looks, right?
Yeah.
It is the way it is because that's how it looks.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like that.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes it really do.
Be like that.
Sometimes it do.
So regardless of the size and the width of the crater, they're all about the same depth.
Really?
Which doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
No.
So it's like Swiss cheese.
Oh my God. Ryan, that's your only input for the entire episode. So wait a minute. Hang on. So you're telling me it's actually more like a gorgonzola?
It's mozzarella, dude.
Oh my God.
Please cut that.
Dude, do not cut it.
No.
We're not cutting that.
Making
you
the
need
cut.
to live in shame for making
You guys
that
just
joke.
want to torture me?
Yes.
All the time?
Yeah.
Well, we've transitioned from crystal jokes to cheese jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, I did not bring up the crystal.
Oh, you just said it.
Damn it.
All right. So anyway, hang on. So you're saying that, like, regardless of how wide the crater is, they're all the same, like, roughly about the same depth.
Yes.
So even the, like, super massive one, there's one with a really cool name. They, like, name the craters, you know.
Yeah.
One of them's called, like, the Sea of something. Sea of Tranquility.
The Sea of Tranquility, yeah. Are we sure that's the moon?
I could be totally freaking wrong. I'm an idiot.
Well,
yeah.
So
I think so. It definitely rings a bell. I think that's on the moon, but what do I know?
I mean, there are some craters that you can look at from Earth, and you can straight up, with just your eyes, see craters that are huge.
Alex, can you Google the Sea of Tranquility?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, that's, like, literally, you could look at the moon right now, see a giant, sprawling, huge, massive crater. And so that essentially is saying, even that one, the biggest one you can see, is roughly the same depth as like some of the smaller ones.
Yeah, that's whack.
Because like
Mar Tranquilitas?
Oh, so it's a Mars thing, maybe?
No, Mar, M-A-R-E, Mare.
Mar.
I don't know, dude.
Tranquilitas. That's probably like Latin
for
Sea of
I'm just gonna
Tranquility
go ahead and kind of wedge this into the conversation.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know that what they've told us about space is even real in the first place.
space in general? Like
Space, the planets, the celestial bodies.
how so?
Well, when my dad was inside Cape Canaveral with Tim Taylor and some of the other NASA scientists, he was explaining how he had a dream where, my dad remote views and all that shit, and he's like really psychic. And he had a dream the night before. He had 2 dreams, actually. The first dream was that his soul was like witnessing this catastrophe on another planet. And this race of beings had billions of them instantaneously were wiped out in a cataclysm. And what happened was their souls basically, their whole civilization was instantly decimated. And the guardians that my father witnessed in 2007 and many years later came and captured their souls, which were in shock, fashioned them a more simple body. Remember, this is a dream. Fashioned them a more simple body, brought them to Mars, opened up some kind of weird freaking portal between Mars and Earth where these beings could travel to and from the different dimensions, Mars and Earth, keyword dimensions, and experience life in a more simple, like flesh, body, whatever, so that their consciousness could be rehabilitated back to its previous level of evolution. And that is Bigfoot.
What? I thought you were going to say that's like us. Like that's humanity.
And my dad told
like Sasquatches?
Yes. And then he had another one where he saw space, and it was like the negative dimension in between dimensions. It's like the dimension we're in now is like the positive dimension, and then space is like the negative dimension. And it was more like, in his vision, whatever, it was more like some sort of primordial liquid. And
there's a lot of things, like a lot of ancient texts describe space as like
boats,
an ocean.
The Egyptians say in the afterlife you ride on boats.
Yeah.
And in this little vision or whatever my dad was having, remote viewing, it was a dream. He saw creatures in space, like aquatic like creatures, and he told all this to Tim Taylor and all that. I have a photo of Dad in the room because they took my dad on a full tour through Cape Canaveral. Literally like 300 people in the world have been in a specific room that my dad's been in. It was like where the astronauts get ready for their missions. And when my dad told all that to Tim Taylor, he looked at my dad and he said, "You very well might be the most informed person I've ever met." Like his remote viewing is.
That sounds like Lovecraftian stuff too. Like
like cosmic entities out there in a negative
squids
dimension
in space.
It was in his. I keep calling it vision, but he was dreaming. It was like squids.
There's a lot to unpack in what you just said. So that would.
Well, I told you I was going to bring some heat.
Another thing that you said is that like the planets are dimensions. Like
I think so. That's how we started the What If segment in the first place. Is me and Jenny were sitting on the beach a few weekends ago, and I was looking at the stars. I said, "Jenny, I'm telling you, I just have this feeling like, what if the celestial bodies are more like realms and they're lying to us?" And Jenny said, "Dude, you got to do a what if section on the podcast so you can explore these fringe topics without any like judgment." But you know what? Like, I don't care, dude. I've already been judged by so many people for so many dumbass reasons. And I do think it's dimensions. And I kind of, in my mind, I just keep feeling this weird imagery of like us being in the heart chakra of some transcendental cosmic entity who's trying to relearn how to love itself.
Oh my God. That was
like Earth is probably that realm where we come to learn to love. That's how I feel. And we're all this one cosmic being. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode, like the collective consciousness.
I mean, we might as well just end it here because I'm not going to bring anything to the table that beats that at all.
How are we supposed to steer this back to the moon landing?
Well, that's my conclusion. I don't think we ever went because I think it's a lie that we can leave this planet with flesh and blood. I think that's a lie.
So then you fully believe in the conspiracy, like the fact.
And to be clear, I am not talking about flat Earth. I think that's a psyop. I'm, as Eddie Bravo would say, I'm not married to the ball. Like, I do believe this is a consciousness realm, whatever. It's a matrix. It could be, if we all believed it's a ball, it's a ball.
Well, I'd like to do an episode on that because there's a lot that you can go into as far as like Antarctica and inner Earth.
Again, I am not a flat earther. I am not a flat earther. I have to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so what you were saying reminded me, and I had to pull it up here, of one of my favorite documents to exist ever that I've read. And granted, that's not That's not anything to say because I don't read a lot. So what it is this, it's a CIA.gov PDF. It is the Mars exploration, May 22nd, 1984. It is a remote viewing of Mars.
Yeah. And it's about Sasquatch, right?
Well, there's a lot of parallels to what you just talked about with your dad's regression to this. And this, I don't know who, it's probably in here.
Dude,
but
I'm pretty sure that was the people I've met. Like Joe McMoneagle and all.
Right.
I didn't meet Joe McMoneagle, but Dad did.
So it's like scanned in. It's obvious. It was written on like a typewriter, it looks like, but basically talks about the evacuation of Mars.
Wow.
Where it's like these people, these beings in distress. I'm going to give you like a too long didn't read. It sees people in distress kind of boarding spaceships and like getting out of there. But it's called the CIA Mars exploration. That's pretty much all you have to Google. It's a PDF. Fantastic read. It's not very long.
Yeah. I definitely see. My thing is, when you meet people in NASA, when Tim Taylor came and spoke to us, one of the things I remember him saying to my dad was that a lot of people at NASA are Masonic.
Okay.
They're Masonic, and they gave my dad this little pen, this little like not a writing pen, but like something you put on your shirt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was the symbol of a rocket ship inside of a circle. It was like a triangle and a circle. And when you look it up, it's actually a pin which represents you have successfully been to space, right? So people were like, oh, anybody could just buy that on Google. But no, Tim Taylor really gave it to my dad, and he told my dad, within the higher levels of NASA, it's very occult. And he wore a shirt that had the Ouroboros on it. And he explained to my dad that the snake is eating its tail because it's a metaphor representing the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And then he explained to my dad what the triangle means, and when you have the triangle pointing up and the triangle pointing down and they intersect, and it's a six-pointed star, and it represents the masculine and feminine principles of nature merging like to create life. I mean, what I'm trying to reveal to people, I'm basically a whistleblower. If you boil it down. I mean, seriously, since I was a teenager, I've been with high levels of the clandestine community, and like I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs, hey, these people are into the freaking occult. Like I've met them. And they told us about Jack Parsons. And Jack Parsons was one of the most devoted disciples of Aleister Crowley.
Oh, shit.
So there was this institute called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which is a magical order, ritual magic. And Jack Parsons was like I think he was like the leader of the American chapter, and Aleister Crowley was in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, obviously in the UK because he was British, and they were pen pals.
Whoa.
And Jack Parsons, remember, this was like the 1930s, 1940s, so they didn't have internet, they didn't have cell phones, they would write mail. And Jack Parsons like headed up the American chapter, and he was a genius, and he created JPL, which was Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I think that's what it's called. Which
I've heard of that.
It's basically like where the foundation of the rocket technology to supposedly get us to space came from. But he was all into like Aleister Crowley, ritual occult shit.
Pretty coincidental.
Well, it's not.
Right. Right.
And that's what I'm getting at is they were telling us about that kind of stuff. People from NASA, CIA, they're telling us about Jack Parsons. Then you get into Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard, who were best friends, and they were both like devoted disciples of Crowley and what he taught.
L. Ron Hubbard was the guy that invented Scientology, wasn't he?
Yes. So what he did was he took all the shit he learned from Crowley, all that evil nonsense, and went and made Scientology and just like changed it all.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is like a multi-conspiracy episode.
Well, I mean,
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I told you I was going to bring the heat,
Love
boys.
it.
You were like, just go out of the box. And I was like, you sure did? But anyway, so they were telling us about Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard. By the way, I probably shouldn't say that. Well, now I have to. I know there are some people in DARPA who are aware of me who are rumored to be Scientologists. Isn't that crazy?
I love your like shift of tone there. You're like, isn't that crazy?
That's kind of crazy, dude. I know for a fact somebody from DARPA personally read my Twitter, and I had to take down the document that they wrote. Change the subject. Anyway, so yeah, so I personally, through the thread, the life that I've lived and the thread that I have followed throughout these many years, I know for a fact, I have met them, people in NASA, that they are into highly occult knowledge. And dude, and then you get into like the Vril Society and how NASA started with a lot of Nazi scientists from Operation Paperclip anyway, dude. Werner Von Braun, my friend Hal Povenmire, who I knew for 11 years, he's the first guy when I was 15 years old. He came and knocked on the door and said he drove all the way from Cape Canaveral. He wanted to meet Chris Bledsoe. And I was like, oh, okay. I think Dad's at work. Come in. Anyway, he, when he was a young kid at NASA, he was in the room with Werner Von Braun.
Oof.
Like, I literally have met people who worked under Werner Von Braun, Nazi scientists.
Right, yeah.
You know? So, again, the origins of NASA are very weird. It's very occult. It's very ritual. Presently, it's very Masonic.
Yeah, you always hear, like, conspiracy theorists talk about the fact that, like, NASA is just a bunch of Nazis. I know that's a huge oversimplification.
But it's not.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Operation Paperclip. That's one of those things where after World War II, they brought back a lot of the Nazi scientists and used them to create like nukes, the rockets, and et cetera, et cetera. And then, dude, you want to go really out of the box? Okay. Well, the Greek name Osiris represents an Egyptian deity whose original name is Osar or Usir, which is like spelled A-U-S-A-R or U-S-I-R. Osiris is the Greek word, right? So Egypt was ruled by Greeks for a while, and a lot of their culture was like Hellenized, so to speak. So what's really funny, man, the capital of America is Washington, D.C., and it has an obelisk as the symbol, which is exactly 555 feet tall. Numerology there. They even changed it back in the past to make it exactly that height. Anyway, remember from the last episode what the obelisk represents. It's Osiris's gold member. Because remember, it's like magical gold. Isis uses magic to make it. Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is the U.S. Just think out of the box. Like word magic type shit. Remember word magic?
Yeah.
Think out of the box. The U.S. or the Egyptian deity Usir.
Oh my gosh.
Goes to the moon. I kind of believe that the space mission that was televised in 1969 might have been some weird MK Ultra like ritual encoding of US being the king on the geopolitical stage. Dude, it's literally an obelisk. It's literally an obelisk penetrating the moon. It's a rocket going into space. It's ritual.
Bro. That is some mind-blowing shit.
And then Diana Pasolka told me in person, and then she tweeted it, that when she would go to some of the rocket launches with those people, they would do rituals honoring the equinoxes and the solstices at NASA. It's a cult, dude.
What kind of rituals?
Just like some pagan shit. Like, you know, they would launch on certain equinoxes and solstices of the year. So my theory, the Bledsoe said so, you know, Ryan put this on me and nobody else has to die on this hill, but this is my personal belief. I believe that there was a concerted effort for the last hundreds of years to literally indoctrinate people into this new mumbo jumbo, like you gotta believe in the authority figures and the scientists and the freaking priests with the white lab coats and whatever they say about science, you know, shut your mouth and don't question it, forget all that spiritual shit. That's what I believe is what they've been tricking us to come into. And this whole materialistic worldview agenda, whatever, is to inhibit us from advancing our consciousness into like higher levels of learning. Like, what if space really is a negative dimension?
So that is a cool lens to look through when like studying the moon landing conspiracy. It's like because you always think like, what would be their motive, right?
Yeah.
Like. That's at least me. That's every time I've heard about the moon landing conspiracy. It's like, yeah, you know, we wanted to be the first ones on the moon, sure, whatever. But like, that seems like a real deep.
Is this too out of the
motive.
box?
Not at all. I
Okay,
don't think
'cause
so.
I don't think it's too out
Well,
of the
no,
box.
it's very out of the box, but I'm enjoying it
Right.
thoroughly, and I believe that our audience is as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I
so
don't
with all that said, let's bring it back to the nitty gritty conspiracy stuff.
Right. So the main argument in kind of my eyes for this is possibly being a charade entirely. So not falling back on my theory. is that somehow between July 20th, 1969 and now, we have lost all of the technology that we used to get to the moon, including spacesuits, because I dug up this recent article.
Dude, I know, and that's so funny you say that, because I recently saw a video, and it was specifically focusing on the phone thing that we were talking about earlier, where like they've called the president from the moon, and when they asked, like, okay, so first of all, how did you have that technology back then? And second, where's that technology now? Their reason was basically like, it was really hard to make and we destroyed it all. Wasn't it?
Right. Essentially, it was like,
is that for real?
We lost
Yes.
it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Who
well,
would believe that?
So get this. So August 10th, 2021, from The Verge, the headline, NASA's new spacesuits are delayed, making a 2024 moon landing not feasible.
That implies that that was a thing.
So I guess we were trying to send a manned mission to the moon, but now it's not happening because the spacesuits are delayed.
We don't have the spacesuits from 50 years ago.
Let's just throw on those old 69
Dude,
spacesuits.
I'm telling you,
up there.
I'm telling you, boys, I have a theory that all this space race shit is all ritual programming. Do you know what MK Ultra is?
Yeah.
No, please tell me.
Yeah. Alex, why don't you tell him about the freaking shirt you bought me for my birthday, dude?
Oh, yeah.
You little cheeky little bastard.
Should I
actually really love it. I'm just kidding.
There's some, I found it through Twitter. Is a shirt that says MK Ultra victim.
That's
pretty cool. It's right up Ryan's alley.
That's too good.
I have new age drip, man.
That's too good.
Yeah, dude. But that's my whole point. I really do think all the space race stuff is I think it's all theater.
Yeah.
So what was really interesting to me too, and some more evidence, right? I watched where the capsule that they took resurfaced on Earth, and they crashed into the water, and then here come the Navy, and they kind of pull them out. And so the Navy goes, and then they spray off the hatch because apparently there's some nasty stuff on there that you don't want to touch, which I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I mean,
Space
obvious,
goo.
Right? Like, I'm just like, what? I'm not smart enough to understand what they're doing.
Ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they come out in these like green suits, which I'm guessing are decompression suits, because the next thing they're in is in a decompression pod, which I hear there's a lot of diving. So you get the bends. So when you change pressure too quickly, something about the hydrogen or something in your blood that makes bubbles in your blood, which kills you. And if it doesn't kill you, it's it hurts a lot. So then the next clip, they're in this decompression chamber or something like that, all three of them, and they're talking with the president. And then then the next thing I guess is a post-flight conference where they're all talking, and they all look like they've seen a ghost. It's very strange. Like
Really?
they all have this weird disposition to them where they're like kind of all very pale, and they're like kind of being short, and I don't know. It's very weird.
Ugh.
You know what I think is weird, dude? There was an astronaut in the last couple of years. I cannot remember which one. It's like a modern astronaut, right? Not like Edgar Mitchell.
Like a NASA astronaut.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was speaking to like an elementary school classroom. And he made a comment to one of the little kids, like, well, we can't figure out how to get past the Van Allen radiation belt.
Right.
How could they do it then, but they can't do it now?
That's
right.
the whole thing. They apparently had the technology to do this back then, destroyed it all, quote unquote, and it took too long to build. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, like I understand how like NASA's very political.
That stinks like cheese, dude.
But exactly. So pretty much like according to NASA, the website, right? We haven't been outside of low Earth orbit ever.
What? Dude, they're just...
Their website says that?
That's what I
lying to
hear.
everybody.
I haven't skimmed through the whole website.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
Hey, you want to know something crazy? This is a fact. If you go on NASA's website, any photo that has ever been released of like space or the Earth is photoshopped. It's on their website. It's a disclaimer. There is not one single authentic photo in the history of mankind of Earth from space. They're all fake. It's literally on the website.
You know what's funny?
They're doctored.
I just saw like...
They ain't been up there, bro. They haven't been up there.
Okay, Jeremy. I just saw like today, or no. It was in the past couple of days that somebody has created like an AI that not only can detect Photoshop on any photo,
Wow.
but can also like highlight what has been Photoshopped.
Oh shoot, we should use that.
Dude.
We should use that on the.
Well, I don't know if it's available to the public.
Oh, okay.
I highly doubt it's
That'd be
available.
cool, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I highly doubt it's available to the public, but I just saw that within the past 2 days.
Yeah. So think about it, man. If all this stuff.
Oh, in fact, that's so fun. The meme that I saw on Twitter was literally the article, and it was like, AI is created that can detect Photoshop, and then it said NASA, and it was like a guy like tugging at his collar like he was nervous. That's literally
funny,
what I
dude.
saw.
Yeah, because their photos are all Photoshop.
Yeah.
Well, I want to bring up something just because you touched on AI. So, like, I think we did an episode where we kind of talked about AI and maybe the dangers of AI.
We did a
moving
little
forward.
bit. Yeah.
Right.
We
So
did a what if
I
question.
saw this
What if,
thing.
yeah.
It was a completely autonomous car, like a AI car that drove itself. And
Hey, we got to do some what if questions this episode.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Just a reminder.
So I guess the car. So the only way to keep the car from going anywhere was by essentially making a salt circle around the car.
What?
Because it would trick the car into thinking that it was like a double yellow or something, or like a lane line. So the car would not move because of the salt circle. And you probably know a little bit more about salt circles than I do.
Dude.
yeah, that's
isn't-
some ritual magic shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because salt is like a purifier, and when
Right.
you get into like crystals.
Isn't that what?
Salt is crystals.
He
Dude.
just did another crystal joke. Are we just gonna let him keep getting
Well,
away with it?
Are you going to just sit here and be
Why don't
salty
you just
about
try
it?
and stop?
Oh, salt joke. Salt
Dude,
joke.
that's
Yeah, isn't it like you put yourself in a circle of salt to like protect yourself from demons or something?
Yeah, remember
Exactly.
Supernatural?
They do it in
Yeah, they do it in
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude,
yeah.
Supernatural. Look, I know that show falls off after season 5. I've only seen the
Those
five
first few
seasons.
seasons
Yeah, the
are
first
sick.
and that show is filled to the brim with occult knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, one of our listeners, her name is Jenna. Shout out Jenna. She's super.
Yeah, shout out Jenna. She's always interacting.
She's always interacting. She's super cool, and she commented on one of the episodes where we just talked about Supernatural, and she went off about how it was hilarious that we brought up her favorite show and we only made like one tiny little quote.
And she was like containing all
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Dude, that's just the funniest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is she told me on that little comment, like, that show is filled to the brim with occult knowledge.
And even the later seasons is what she was saying.
Especially in the later
yeah.
seasons.
So maybe it'd be worth like checking out again.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a cool show.
For sure.
Dang, dude, what were we talking about? Salt crystals or something?
Yeah, well, so, like, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Yeah, so we should just put salt around the moon.
Oh my God.
Wow.
But,
dude.
so what I was going to say is, like, when I'm doing all this research, it's like, oh, here's the claim, and this is a hoax, and then it's like, no, debunked.
Yeah.
This is that's not correct. But, like, we've sent a rover to Mars, right? All you got to do, if you want to squash this forever, just send a rover to the moon.
You know what? That's a good point.
And drive me over there where they planted the flag and show me the footprint and show me the flag, and then case closed. That's it.
a good point.
Did y'all see one of the videos of like a SpaceX? Is that Tesla's Elon Musk company?
yeah.
SpaceX? Dude, I swear to God, I'm not like making this up. I have no. I think Elon Musk is cool. Whatever. I'm not trying to like shit on him, but he had one of his videos of
Elon Musk. Interestingly, his family made their money doing what?
what? I don't know what.
Mining crystals.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, emeralds. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah, dude.
Well, let's
You
not
know what?
Yeah, that's a different conversation. Anyway, go ahead.
No, but there was one of his videos with like a SpaceX rocket going to space or whatever. Bro, you can literally see a rat running on it. That shit was in a green screen studio, dude.
No way.
Yes. Look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, you got to show me that.
Well, I can't.
Well,
No,
don't do it right now.
Yeah,
We'll watch it
okay.
later. Yeah, but I'm just saying, dude. Like all this stuff is like, you watch the
Bullshit.
Avengers and they're in space and that. It's the same shit. It's all green screen. It's all CGI. It's all smoke and
okay,
mirrors.
but so they just recently SpaceX launched a manned mission. I guess I believe it's
they
to
said they
restock. I saw it in the sky.
You
Oh,
saw it-
really?
Yeah, you saw it in the sky.
Flew
Did,
over.
did-
Like you could
did you
see
wave
it.
at him and see him get out in space and float around?
No. Well, I was trying to set up my telescope and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But they did launch something.
Dude,
Something.
I'm gonna bring you back. Alex, you're a little too young for this. No offense.
How old is Alex?
He's
How
5
old are
years
you
younger
again?
than me.
23.
Damn, I always forget.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly 5 years younger than me. And our birthdays are like 2 weeks apart. But you'll remember this. Do you remember the episode of Rugrats when Reptar reaches up and grabs the moon and it's a cookie?
Yes.
And it's a cookie.
It's literally a cookie and he takes a bite out of it or just eats the
I
whole thing
remember
or something.
that.
You remember that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there you
watched
go.
Rugrats. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, my bad. I didn't
Okay,
mean to
gang.
like
I
discriminate.
had the orange VHS tape.
that was the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Goes to Paris?
Well,
Yeah.
both of them.
On a mom
That can last forever.
Both of the movies were on orange VHS tapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
We
know
could
that.
do a whole thing about
Let's do a
childhood
Rugrats episode.
cartoons. Well, cartoons and occult, like child's cartoons and stuff.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That's
Courage the
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
premium content.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good stuff. Oh, dude, I have to say this. I mean, technically, that like the glue that holds the show together is like the UFO stuff or whatever. So we got to mention it, right? And dude, imagine if this stuff I'm saying about space is true and it's not really what they've been telling us in movies. Just imagine. Do you really think that ships can just come here like that, or is it more like the stuff me and my dad are saying? I mean, doesn't that make sense?
Those
That
two like theories or concepts do kind of go hand in hand
Exactly.
perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are these I mean, you remember the regression episode? These beings told my dad like they come from another dimension. They can be here any second, instantaneously. We don't know where this place is. It's not like just a physical planet somewhere else. I don't believe that we can hop on a piece of metal equipment, leave this dimension and go to the rock over there. I don't think that. I think they're more like, dude, if there really was a cosmic mind, if this really was some eternal, infinite matrix of consciousness, and like it's a mind, right? And all these different celestial bodies in the night sky are like the different neural pathways in the mind or like the brain. And I believe what we're looking at out there, those lights in the sky, I believe they're like different neural pathways within the cosmic consciousness, so to speak. They're literally like realms, like the Norse taught. And I believe our little solar system is whatever the heck astral being we're a part of. And these different little planets, I guess you could call them, are dimensions within this being.
Right,
Different
yeah.
levels of consciousness, you know? I know that sounds really fringe, but
No, it is. You said it. It's what the Norse were.
yeah,
were.
the 9 realms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, bro, in the Bible, there's 7 levels of heaven.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. As above, so below. Now, according to that, we are in the middle realm, which is like the crossing place. By the way, the cross.
And also,
The cross.
yeah, and also the Norse call it Midgard.
Midgard. Yeah, we're in the middle right now. It's like, depending on the choices you make in this life, you either ascend to the next one or I think you kind of like revert on a cycle.
Stick around, try.
Yeah, or you just stick around. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like literal, so to speak. I think the higher realities are metaphorical. It's more like energy. There's, it's not so literal. And dude, I realized something about the Matrix the other day that blew my mind, and I hope it blows yours as much as it blew mine. The biggest point of the movie was he had 2 choices: the red and the blue pill.
Right.
He followed the white rabbit, which was synchronicities. He followed the synchronicities to where he had to make a choice that altered his destiny. And I think it's the concept they're trying to teach, that when you make the correct choice, you advance your destiny to like the next level. You keep making the correct choice, you advance your consciousness, so to speak.
Keep following the white rabbit.
Keep following the rabbit. Yeah, just keep making those choices. And that's what I think it is, dude. I think that's the big secret to advancing your consciousness is when, dude, someone comes up to you on the street. I'm not talking like, you go downtown and there's a community of people who beg for money daily. I don't mean that. That happens to everybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to or have to not like give money away. That's maybe a bad example. But let's say you have a friend and they really need your help, and it would be the right thing to help them.
Yeah.
You can take the red pill or the blue pill.
It's almost like karmic decisions.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
that's what I think that is.
Those like crossroads where.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what the red pill and the blue pill thing is. It's like karmic crossroads.
Maybe that's why crossroads are so significant in like religion and specifically.
It's a crossing.
Yeah.
The symbol, dude, the most popular symbol of all time is the cross.
Yeah.
Also in Egypt, it's the Ankh. Anyway, let's get back to the moon landing. Sorry. Did you let me go? I'm going to keep going.
No, I want you to go.
Okay,
I'm kind of like, I hate to be the person to bring it back in.
Then don't, man. It can be whatever you want it to be.
So to not to like debunk your, so personally, I don't know. I'm torn because I don't think we've left low Earth orbit. But I found this really cool website called stuffin.space that pretty much shows you everything that's in our like immediate orbit right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Like from space junk to Starlink satellites to the ISS. And it's like a 3D map, and you just kind of hover over the thing and it tells you all about it. Pretty cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, good looking.
Cool. You know what I just realized? There's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, actually, the scientists say this about space and this about that. And it's like, have you met those scientists? Because I certainly haven't. Have you read the papers? Because I haven't.
Yeah.
I've actually met a lot of scientists.
What about the guy that confronted Armstrong and he punched him in the face?
No, that
What?
was that was
Buzz
Aldrin.
Aldrin.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, he punched somebody in the
Yeah,
face.
Oh, yeah.
somebody
big
said the
time.
moon landing. Yeah.
Well,
somebody-
okay, the guy was kind of being aggressive. Like he
was.
was like kind of like a conspiracy journalist, and
Yeah,
and
but-
Aldrin was out minding his own business, and he got in his face a little bit, and then the old man strength, dude.
Yeah, that stuff ain't no joke.
Dude,
No.
there's a video?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? That's it.
Well,
show
you
you
know the
later.
thing about
It's
old man
incredible.
strength, right?
What?
Over time, your tendons crystallize.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, Ryan. I can't with you. You're literally a meme. You're a meme.
Yeah,
You're
you can be whatever you want to be, man.
He's the
It's
green
the
man.
Philosopher's Stone,
He's
dude.
the green man.
Green man.
It's the Philosopher's Stone. You can be whatever you want to be, dude.
And you're a meme. You've chosen
Yeah.
to be a meme.
I am.
So I'm gonna take the moon-shaped ball and run with it.
Wow.
I really like the theories that the moon is hollow or possibly a spaceship, or maybe the moon brought life here, or maybe I ran across some things like the moon is getting in. I think Ryan knows a lot about this. Getting into like the reptilians and the grays and like the very right. Well, like the very like I don't know
Physical matter.
textbook UFO
Yeah.
theories. Also ran across some satellite images of like obelisks on Mars and stuff like that.
I actually know one of the guys
What?
who supposedly mapped structures on the moon at NASA.
What do you mean mapped structures? Like he
Like Hal Povenmire, the guy I was
Like
telling you about. He-
inorganic structures, like maybe possibly built structures on
well,
the moon.
well, no. Let me rephrase that. What
Okay.
he told us was that he was one of the people at NASA who mapped the dark side of the moon, like with whatever technology they use. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but it's what he said. And he said that they had found structures on there. You want to know something funny, dude? When I was 18, me and Dad went to a tiny little conference somewhere in South Carolina to like speak about his experience or whatever. And Hal Povenmire came with us, and he actually said, and again, Hal Povenmire was a nice guy. I'm not trying to be mean about him, but this did happen. He actually said at the little conference of 30 to 50 people, he said that the phenomenon is swamp gas, and he got booed.
Oh my gosh,
So
I
a-
remember you telling me
Yeah, a
about
NASA
that.
guy came with us
And said it was swamp gas.
said it was swamp gas, which is like what you hear in the movies,
Yeah.
right? And he got booed.
That's wild.
That's so funny.
Alex,
dude.
did you say there was a theory that the moon brought life to Earth?
Or I guess
Damn.
more
Or-
like beings. So like
So that theory is that like the moon is a spaceship
right and hollow.
and beings drove it here and brought life here.
the
Yeah.
sun is
That's
our father,
wild.
the earth is our mother.
Well, what's the moon?
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
the
know.
moon? Uncle Metatron?
No one talks about the moon.
It's the uncle. Uncle Moon.
What is your conclusion? Do you think we looked at the
My
moon?
conclusion is that I still, after all this research, don't really care that much.
Dude, I'm frustrated because I keep interrupting you.
No, and
You're frustrated that you keep it.
I want to hear him,
well,
but
let
it's
me
like
tell
I
you
want to
about
talk
this
too.
show, son. No, like I mean, I like doing all the research. I love talking about it. I think we covered a lot of really cool things in this episode that had nothing to do with the moon landing, and that was kind of the goal because it doesn't scratch the itch for me.
Yeah, it just doesn't do
You
it for
picked the topic.
I know I picked an entry level topic on
you.
purpose because
that everybody can get on board with.
right. And I also
Yeah.
like hopefully we'll kind of explore a little bit more controversial conspiracy topics in the future. And please try to get in touch with me. I love talking about it. And if I say something that sounds absolutely crazy to you, I'll try to back myself up if you want to come at me with that. So
Big
Are you talking to me or the audience?
No, the
the
audience.
audience. Big
Oh,
debate energy.
sorry.
Dang, dude. You trying to debate our listeners?
No. Like
Don't debate them.
I'm trying to. What I'm actually trying to do is get
Debate the
people to follow
haters,
me
dude.
on Twitter.
Oh my god. Shameless.
Dude,
Shit.
oh my God. Do you want to plug your Twitters? I don't think you ever did.
No,
Who cares? It's
I don't.
at Nick Firm. Who cares?
I'm not gonna plug it. Find it yourself.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Real compassionate.
Dude, oh my God. You.
So basically, you're just like, it's probably not real, but honestly, who cares? There's bigger fish to fry. That's like your official stance.
Well, I mean that's very I guess.
Well, we
Just a little
gotta
reduction.
have a conclusion. We can't have like guided them through an hour of nothing. So what's
That's
the
what every
conclusion?
episode
Did they go to?
Is
Oh,
that's. I was under the impression that that's kind of what.
I'm
this was.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't think we went to the moon. Nick, did we go to the moon?
I tend to agree. So here's the thing, Ryan. Love you so much. Love everything.
But-
Love everything you say. But I just haven't done enough personal like pondering and research to come to a belief on if the planets are realms or if they're actually there or whatever. Because like I'm big on just pondering. I never close the book ever on anything. I'm always wondering and pondering. So anyway, we ponder, is this a matrix? Well, in my mind, if it is, then that's no different than reality, what we know as reality. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. And so therefore the planets, of course they're there because this is all a matrix, whatever. That's where my mind tends to go. And so therefore I tend to agree with the first thing that Alex said, which is like I think we went at some point, but that footage was bullshit. That footage was not the real thing.
Kubrick made it.
I literally look at 2001: A Space Odyssey and what he could achieve in 1968, and then a year later, we get this footage, which it's highly convincing. And there's all kinds of videos out there of people like changing the exposure and shit, and like, look, they're on wires and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, like so in my research, right, I went to history.com, does a whole debunking. Number 5, the moon landing is fake because Stanley Kubrick filmed it.
Really?
Like what? Just I don't know.
I'm definitely open to the idea that it's a mix of both. Reality's malleable. Like there could be planets out there, but it's just like with all the personal experiences I've had and the people I've met and conversations I've had and things I've experienced, and like once you touch a pure energy being, and it like opens your mind to think about things differently. Whatever they're teaching us in the mainstream, I tend to think it is without a doubt a lie, and
Right.
I know that they have reasonable motivation to convince us that there is no spiritual higher reality and that this is all material and meaningless and random and it's just like evolution of the body. But
right.
Yeah.
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I would say on a lot of the conspiracies that I dive into, I'm very firm on what I believe. With this one, like I said, I'm all over the place. After talking with y'all today, I'm more on the side of it didn't happen
At all. Yeah.
At all.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure we've shot some space junk up there, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, another thing to piggyback off what you were saying about like, I believe it could be a little bit of both or whatever, like totally what we know as planets and what we know as space or whatever, those could just be different words, different terms to explain the same thing. Like what if Mars is a quote unquote planet and that is a quote unquote dimension? And
Yeah, but I don't know. I think what space itself is like a negative space between dimensions. Like,
yeah, I get that. I get that for sure. It's like space is just us traveling through that negative dimension. I guess all I'm saying is
but you would need like wormholes or something. You would need like portals, like stargates.
But what if you?
I
don't?
believe that over getting in a ship and flying.
But what if it is that easy? See, that's the interesting thing to ponder. Is like, those both could be 100% true. Those both could be entirely true. We could look up in the sky and see Saturn, which we've associated as a planet, but we could be viewing just a realm. We could just be able to see a realm.
The Greeks
in the
and
sky.
the Romans differentiate the planets and the stars like the gods and the titans.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like we're all talking about the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just like different words. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because this is a linguistic matrix.
Yeah.
I just don't buy the spacesuits, man.
Yeah, that was
Like, you're supposed to step out into space and it just like rips you apart. But you're gonna put on this a couple layers of
Aluminum
some fabric,
foil.
and then you're gonna put a bucket on your head, and you're good to go. Safe.
Well, bro, I met a guy from NASA who literally told people our experience was swamp gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you tell me, dude.
Y'all want to do some what ifs?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You want to just
Yeah.
each of us pull one?
I like that.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll,
cool.
I'll start.
My first what if?
Reach in that jar, baby.
Yeah, we'll go round robin. All right. Where's the freaking Jeopardy music, dude?
Wait, I was about to say that's copyrighted, but again, we don't make money, so we can use all the music we want.
All right, I got a good one. This one comes from Edward Sanchez at sign. Yeah, thank you
Edward.
so much, Edward. At sign Sanchy51. So SANCHY 51. Thank you. What if staring into the sun will enhance your pineal gland, and that's why we've been told to never stare at the sun?
Ooh.
That's called sun gazing. That's a real
Yes.
practice.
Alex perked up at that.
Yes. Oh, I was gonna say what Ryan said.
Sun gazing.
So yeah. Also, this kind of brings up like I think that's true.
I think so.
Just like how people talk about walking outside barefoot, you ground yourself.
Yeah.
And that it's good.
The Egyptians taught you have
that
chakras in your
should,
feet.
exactly. And that
And hands.
sunglasses are the creation of the man to shrink your pineal gland.
Yo, that makes me mad, man.
I don't know. I love sunglasses.
Dude, so check this out. Your pineal gland, it is a real part of the brain, and it has these vestigial optic nerves. That's a evolutionary term. Vestigial means over the course of evolution, there might be anatomical structures in the body that are no longer necessary at your current physical form. So like you have optical nerves in your pineal gland, but you don't have an eyeball there. So the optical nerves...
Is that real?
Yeah.
There's optical nerves
In your pineal gland.
What?
Yeah. And they're connected to your eyes. So when this is real science. It's called circadian rhythm. Your body so I like to think of things as if what if we were living 1,000 years ago, right? There's no light bulbs, there's no electricity. I just like to that's how I think of the human body and anatomy.
Right.
Because all this technology and all the frequencies and electromagnetic frequencies and stuff we're swimming in is very harmful to the body. So sometimes I think in these terms, like what about 1,000 years ago? How was it? How was health? How was fitness and wellness and blah, blah, blah. So you got your sleep-wake cycle from your eyeballs waking up in the morning, seeing sunlight. That sunlight is transmitted through your optical nerves to your pineal gland, which transmits serotonin, melatonin, and it creates your anatomical circadian rhythm. It's almost like it really is your third eye, your pineal gland. It regulates various functions of the body and endocrine system that are good for you when viewing adequate sunlight. Now, I don't think you can go up at noon and look straight into the sun and not damage your eyes, but they say it's like 15 minutes before dawn and 15 minutes before, what is it called?
Dusk.
Dusk. You can safely gaze at the sun. This is a real Eastern practice.
So you think that
I think it's very good for you. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I do that. On my drive home.
You actually do it?
Yeah, because I kind of drive sometimes. So like right now, we're getting into kind of early fall, late summer.
Mm-hmm.
As I drive home, the sun is in the right spot for that. So
Nice.
as much as I
yeah.
can without getting distracted.
You got
Oh, yeah?
one?
You want
got
to do
one?
another one?
Yeah, sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's do it. All right, I'm going to pick one. Okay. So this one comes from Sheldon Ramey. And it's literally at Sheldon Ramey. Thank you for submitting this.
Thank you, Sheldon.
So this one...
Alex, thank him.
Thank you.
So this one is, you know that saying, time gets faster the older you get?
Yeah.
What if there's really something going on outside of our realm of time that is progressively speeding up? Every year seems to go quicker and quicker, but we only calculate time based on the rotation of the Earth.
Dude, okay. So I think as we
That's
get,
a good one.
It is a very good one. The one I got was good too.
Yeah,
that
of course.
that one was more like biological, scientific, and that's a different category. This one's like metaphysical,
Conceptual.
It's more conceptual. But I do tend to believe that as we get closer and closer towards the age of Aquarius, our consciousness as a collective, dude, think about it. We're on our phones all day. We have TikTok now. I know that's silly, and like a lot of older people out there are not going to be able to relate to that, but like step out of yourself and your own perspective for a minute and realize the future generations are growing up with this. TikTok, dude, I'm telling you, I've said this before. There's some days when I'm just like bored, whatever. I might be on there an hour or two, and you cannot get to the end.
It's endless.
Rapid content. And that's kind of like the future highway of the internet.
And that's just one app.
Yeah. So I think our perception is being constantly bombarded with overstimulation. Our awareness of time probably will accelerate with future generations for that reason alone.
So
it's like going to fragment our consciousness.
So you think it's more that our perception of time is speeding up?
Yeah, because everything is instant now.
That's a good way to look at it.
It's the internet.
I was wondering if you were going to go in a direction of like consciousness building momentum, because that's something.
But I think those are hand in hand. I think it's because of that. You know what I mean? Like a little logical formula.
Okay.
It's the age of Aquarius. I believe the internet is one of the key structures to reigning in the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, because I mean, there are times like
it's a consciousness field.
Yeah, there are times at the end of the day where I'll kind of have like a lucid moment, and I'll just be like, Where did the last 3 days go? Like,
yeah, you're just on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Autopilot. Yeah.
But also, go ahead, Alex.
No, you go ahead first because I'm about to rain on your parade.
Well, I was also going to say that because of all these things at our disposal to just like constantly consume and pay attention to, we're not really being like mindful of.
We're not here.
We're not here. We're like right now. We're not being here right now, which is a meditation thing.
Yeah.
And we're constantly just like on the go. We're cogs in the machine. We're just like drones. Work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep. Yeah, it makes your life go a lot faster.
Never thought about it that way.
So, I've watched a video on this, the math behind why each year you get older feels faster.
Mm-hmm.
So basically think of it as like a pizza. So you're 1 year old, you have one pizza, there's no slices in it. So that is the biggest it will ever be. The first year of your life was the longest year you'll ever have. When you turn 2, you cut that pizza in half. So that next year is half of your life. By the time you're 30, 40, 50, you're talking about 1/50th of your life has passed, which is, think of cutting a pizza into 50 slices. That 50th slice is much smaller than the second or the third or the
That's
fourth.
a good way. So it's a more quantifiable thing.
It's a more of an illusion.
Right.
That the time, there's still 365 days, point whatever, because leap year or whatever. And that nothing changes, but the perception of that year is what changes. But I believe that you guys are both absolutely right. I mean, we live in this fast-paced, very quick, environment where things
also the news cycle is 24 hours
exactly.
too.
Yep.
So like, so we have our daily lives that are super busy where we do the like pizza math and your life is pizza slice ratios.
Do the pizza
but then we have this collective consciousness. We have this consensus reality. We all know about like the Grammys and the VMAs and whatever they do on TV that we're supposed to eat up like, slop on a trough. Yeah. That is a 24-hour constant cycle of new information that our souls are digesting.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things at play here that could be making us making time seem like it's passing quicker. It seems like there's multiple things here that could be causing that.
Yeah.
So,
or someone has an agenda to keep you, the consumer, out of the present moment.
Watch the John Carpenter movie. Watch
Right.
the John Carpenter movie, They Live. That's the one where he puts on the sunglasses. It's a classic film.
I've never heard of it.
It's a big like
oh my god!
conspiratorial movie.
Is that the first? I'll have to check it out from Alex.
That is.
I think it is. Bravo.
Bravo. Thank you.
So
you just quoted me. No, but he puts on sunglasses in the movie, and then like he sees reality for what it really is, and it's like buy, consume, obey, like all the billboards that are like, dude, it's a.
You've seen the memes. Dude.
You've seen the memes. It's a big.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
Like the 70s or 80s, dude.
This sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
It looks like an 80s movie.
It's John Carpenter.
It's called They Live.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Dude, honestly, it's super cool. It's like on the nose. The people who, the super rich, whatever, when he puts on his glasses, they're like aliens. They're like not normal people.
Whoa.
And they're like running reality, and it's like putting people in a herd mentality. And the billboard might be advertising a hamburger or whatever, and it's all like, I think it's black and white when he doesn't have them on, or it's the other way around. And then he puts the glasses on, and the billboard just says "Obey."
Whoa.
So what you just said, I really believe that, and they're telling us through film. 1984, dude.
You want to do one, Alex? You want to
Yeah,
do
I've got
a what
one.
if?
I've
Please
got
do.
one
You
here.
got one?
Yep.
Oh, he pulled one.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled one already.
Sweet.
So this is from James Sutton,
Okay.
and this is at
I recognize that name.
at Buddha_within03.
He's got the Om symbol.
Thank
right?
you, James.
Yeah,
What's up,
thank you.
James?
Nick, you
Om.
actually replied to him on Twitter.
Om.
Oh,
Sorry.
sick.
Yeah.
His
So
Om symbol.
all right, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that when we ingest plants, psychedelic or not, that we ingest the plants or a spirit's consciousness, maybe entities we encounter while on a trip, or the spirits we encounter while on a trip could just be that plant or nature spirit?
That is super cool.
Well, like I also like I want to.
so
I'd
essentially, when we ingest a plant, we're also ingesting its consciousness, and
right,
like it's
psychedelic or not.
yeah.
Which would kind of what we talked about a little bit.
Oh, like
right
vibration
before we
and
started the
food.
show. Vibration.
I believe whatever you consume, you're consuming its vibrations. Period.
Right, and you physically are the product
Dude.
of what you consume.
Oh my God, do I have to stop eating meat now?
I mean,
No, you
but-
just have to source your meat from the right place.
There you go. We were
Who's your
talking.
meat guy, man?
I'll just kill him. Dude, I gotta kill
Do
him
you have
myself.
a good vibrations meat guy? That's what we were talking about that earlier. Alex had mentioned that's why a lot of vegans, that's kind of their reasoning, is that you don't know what the vibrations of the animal like are or were.
You don't know if it's suffered in its life.
exactly,
Or
if
had
it's
trauma.
a low vibration thing.
I
or
mean,
not.
I'm fairly confident that the frozen chicken tenders that I eat have
They
suffered
suffered bad,
quite a
dude.
bit.
Yeah, they suffered bad.
Sorry.
Dang.
It's like ultra
So
low
okay,
vibration.
so then what about? I mean, do you personally? I've never done psychedelics, but
Right.
I have spoken to. I mean, we all know people who have, and I don't want to out anybody, but one of my friends who has literally like gone to Mexico and South America and places like that, he told me that actually. He was like, I believe when you consume the plant, you consume its consciousness, and it teaches you things. It's like it's.
So you've heard of this too?
I've
like-
heard of this outside of that question.
Wow. Yeah. What does that say about consuming something like a psychedelic or whatever? Like, what does that say? Then would those be why does it have such psychoactive effects? Would it just be that those things are extremely high vibration? What would that mean? You know what I mean?
I get it.
Well, I think
What you do?
I get it.
What do you mean?
They say it's getting high.
Whoa! You just blew my mind, dude. So
Dude, that's funny.
that is funny. So yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, so do they have those effects? I mean, theoretically, could they have those effects because they are like a really, really high
So
vibration
here's
or whatever?
my thing. This is just my little belief here, but if I personally believe that the lady, right, the lady my dad experienced in 2012,
right.
I tend to believe that she may be as like a spiritual / psychic projection of the earth itself.
Like Gaia, like Mother Earth.
Yes,
Yeah.
the mother. She is the mother of all life and creation. I mean, she told my dad that, and you know, I really do believe that if the earth is this realm that we're in, right, and if it appeared to a man in a physical form, it would probably be a really beautiful, nurturing, loving woman. And there have been what they call Marian apparitions throughout time in different cultures, you know, not just like white, blonde hair, blue eye. Obviously, you know, my dad was a white Southern dude who grew up in the 60s and 70s. He probably thought blonde women were hot.
Right.
So he probably, I mean, can you blame him?
Right.
And that's probably why it appeared that way. The lady, the mother, whatever. But then you have the white buffalo calf woman from the Lakota tribe. You have the Marian apparitions
Hathor.
in Hathor in Egypt.
Which was Egyptian. She was
right, she was Egyptian.
So.
And then you have like the Lady of Fatima, and she appears different ways throughout time. What's up?
no, I like that.
Yeah.
story.
But anyway,
Yeah.
my point being, if the earth is really this loving, nurturing realm that we are coming here, you know, on a journey of the soul to learn to go to the next level, this realm probably would have certain advancements provided to us that we could ingest as like medicine for the soul or for the spirit or for the mind. But now we have big pharma, big agriculture, big tech. They stigmatize all that stuff, make it illegal, and you know, you can't touch that stuff because it might actually like wake you up. That's just my conjecture.
So
I've never done psychedelics.
Right. But you're saying that it is a possibility.
It's a possibility for sure. Yeah.
That the Earth like provides.
Provides.
Those those.
I don't think that's off the table.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. Hell yeah, y'all. Those were some cool what ifs.
Yeah,
Please
they really
keep
were.
submitting them.
What a fun episode.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was killer. So yeah, keep submitting those what ifs. We do them when we can.
Yeah, it's not a rigid.
No. We do them every 3 or 4 episodes or whatever, and we're playing around with it still. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. We love your feedback. And thanks for hanging out for another episode.
Absolutely. Anybody have anything else to say?
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house.
See it hovering, but it's just in